the reason why I'm here on this podcast today is to talk about Wonder Woman 1984. You guys watch it? Yay, nay?
We did.
You need to watch it.
I want to hear your thoughts first.
So I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I thought that the beginning, like the first maybe 20 to 30 minutes almost, was excellent. And then it kind of fizzled out for me.
Why was it excellent?
I really liked the fact that it was like super comic book ish. You know, like she was like it reminded me of like the old Wonder Woman. Like you would see her like fighting crime with her lasso and basically like just punching these bad bank robbers in the face and kicking them, and then like it just seemed like an old time type of comic movie. And I was like, oh my god, this is so different than the first Wonder Woman. They just are in here really doing that. And then it kind of just fell into like another DC comic movie. And I was just kind of like, all right. Like, I'm not having a bad time, but I feel like if they would have kept what they were doing in the beginning, it would have just been so different that I would have rode that wave the whole time.
Okay, so you give it a what out of 10?
I gave it a 6.
A 6. Bless her soul. She's so nice. Kind woman. Shawnee, give it to me. Give it to me.
I loved a lot about it. And there were things that I did not care for.
Give me some. Give me some.
I didn't particularly like the decision to bring Steve back.
Ooh.
Steve, the boyfriend, Chris Pine.
Because
Okay.
I really loved the emotional storyline of him dying in the first one, and I thought that was a really great choice that a superhero movie doesn't always make.
Okay.
I loved Kristen Wiig. I think it was well directed, if not always well done CGI, maybe. But I
You
think,
like the CGI?
no, I'm saying I think it's well directed. Even if at some points the CGI wasn't that great.
What parts? Because I see that a lot all the time about the CGI. I saw it a lot.
There's something about the enhancements to her movements or her running that that don't always look the best.
It's kind of like what's that word? I always forget it. The valley.
Uncanny Valley.
The uncanny valley. Yeah. So it's like you're watching this movie and you know that you're watching a superhero movie. So it's not realistic. Anything can happen at any time, and your belief is suspended. You know. But stuff like that where it comes like this super speed running, and sometimes when she would like lasso and then like fling to like another building or what have you, it was kind of jarring, but in a way that I was now thinking about CGI and not Wonder Woman. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I'm thinking more technically and not really like at the movie.
Yes. I'm actually like that when I watch a movie. I don't want to notice anything. I don't want to notice bad acting. I don't want to notice poor editing. I don't want to notice bad writing. And the moment that I do, it's what I start thinking about. Yeah. I want to just watch the movie and be entertained. I want to be lost in the movie. I want to leave there not really either not having a hardcore criticism about it or being like, that was great. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't have that for this movie. I don't have a lot of good things to say about it. And I finished watching it saying, that was pretty bad. But then over time, after I finished watching, I said, this was not pretty bad. This was trash.
Really?
I thought it was trash. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, the writing of it is horrible. Horrible. The lines, the entire story is pointless. The entire story. Why? Who sat in a room and read that script and said, yeah, this is we like that. What? A person who wants to grant wishes for no reason aside from him being a failure. So once he gets what he wants, all of a sudden he wants what? We don't know. World domination? We don't know. We're not 100% sure. And then some lady that wants to help him, but we're not sure why. Why? Because he gave her a little bit of attention and they kissed once. What?
Well, I think she helps him because she realizes that she realizes what she did, and that she made the wish on the stone, and he has it now, and she's listening to them say we have to stop him, and everyone has to give back their wishes. And I think
we shouldn't have to make assumptions about what her purpose is.
I don't think that's an assumption. She says it in the White House.
I do agree with Kelby in the sense of I stopped in the middle of it and I was like, I think everything about this wish thing is very corny. And
no, I agree. I'm just saying I know why she was doing what I was never unclear about why she was doing what she was doing.
Yeah, I was more clear about her character than I was about I can't even think of his name right now. Max, yeah, because it just seemed like I didn't care about him at all, but he was this huge bad guy, this huge part that I'm like, I have to care because you're a huge chunk of the movie, but I don't. You know what I mean? I want to see Kristen Wiig be, that awkward caterpillar to butterfly and then just be a complete badass and wreck shit. I'm in for that. But Max, I don't care about that.
He was a completely pointless character. How does he know what the stone is? How does he know what the stone does? I might have blinked and missed that storyline, but how does he know?
He had researched it. He had drawings about it. He had been looking for it. That's why he found Kristen Wiig.
Okay, I blinked. I missed that part. I just feel like that was not fleshed out enough to where it made any sense. Okay, so now actual parts of the movie that make no sense. Why is it in the 80s? Why is it so important that it's in the 80s, that it's in the title? And yet there was like one thing about the 80s that they mentioned. Look at our clothes. Isn't this 80s? We have trains.
And that's the thing is like when it started and you're like, okay, it's WW84 and then it just was like super 80s. You know, we see everyone with the classic like teased hair and the big geometrical earrings and all of that, and it's just so 80s. I was like, oh, we are really doing this. We're really like sticking to this 80s thing. I'm in. And then nothing else is 80s again. And so I'm like, okay,
for what
maybe
purpose?
Right. And I'm like, for maybe there's gonna be something having to do with like this very specific date, because it's not like 1980, it's 84. So I'm like, okay,
yes,
very specific date, but nothing really ever like comes about again about the date.
Nothing. And why did she have to stop those guys in the mall? What was the point? Is it to show us that she's a superhero now when you guys never mention it again? Is that the point? That she's a secret superhero and nobody they don't put it in the newspaper, they don't talk about it. I just don't understand. Why is it in the 80s? Why was that second opening scene? Why are there two opening scenes? It just makes no sense. Okay, fine. I'll ride along with you. Then she gets in the plane. She says, I can't make things invisible. I've only done it on a cup. 7 seconds later. Okay, the plane's invisible.
Yeah.
What?
She said, okay, I did it.
Yeah, good job. Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. And then you're supposed to be like, wow, yeah, the invisible plane. Yeah, sweet. Then 30 minutes later, she's like, yeah, I don't even need this plane. I can fly. What? What? And then she's not even really flying. She's swinging on clouds. Patty. This ain't it.
Is
Patty
it Patty though, or is it the writing?
Patty did great.
I think it's
Why
more
did- why
so
did
the
Patty-
writing.
Isn't Patty the writer?
No, Patty is just a director.
No, I think she directed.
I'm gonna have to throw Patty on there too. Then Patty, and I already know they signed her on to do the third one, writing and directing. But nah, Pat, nah,
This one
Patricia, this one ain't it. Okay, and then the ending.
Oh, she did write it.
She did write it. I figured I saw her name as the writer. This ain't it, Pat. This ain't the one. All right. So where is Max from? Why does he have an accent, and we don't know where he's from? Fine, I'll let that go. Okay. Why is the lasso of truth not being used as a lasso of truth in the end when it's I'm sorry, spoiler alert for everybody who didn't see it. It's touching his leg. He's broadcasting to the world. He's not saying anything truthful. There's no lasso of truth happening in truth. And her final monologue has nothing to do with the truth. She just says the truth. And then everybody's like, I rescind my wish. Yeah, I rescind it. That was a great speech. And I'm going to give all these $1 billion back that I wished for. I don't need it. What? Patty, let me help you out. The story gotta make sense. First of all, this wish thing is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in a superhero movie. It is so stupid and pointless and corny that I don't think a Marvel writer would ever sit in a room and be like, yo, let me just pitch this wish with this wish rock real quick.
The citrine.
They would throw that person out of the room. They would. No one would ever say, let me do the wish rock. What's the point? Also, what was the point of never really showing, aside from the 12 seconds that they showed, the Chris Pine original character, like the person that he is versus his like spirit? What was the purpose of showing him for like 2 seconds and then not playing off of that in another scene? It just makes no sense. It was like,
I definitely thought there was going to be a moment where, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like where there was a mix up, like, cause everyone sees him as the original guy, right? Except for her.
yes.
So I definitely thought that they were going to be like in her job or like just literally walking down the street and they're like, oh, hey, what's up, Tom? And he's like, oh my God, I have to like pretend to be this guy and I don't even know who I'm supposed to be pretending to be.
You see? Yes. He could have done that. That could have tied it up in like 4 seconds. Or he has a quick conversation where somebody's like, hey, you didn't come to work today. Oh,
Right.
You gave us 2.5 hours of, hey, I'm this guy now. How did he even become the guy? We get it. She wished for it. But he was just like, hey, Diana, I'm at the same party you're at. It's me. You didn't even give me when Chadwick came back at Endgame as the Black Panther, they gave him his moment.
They sure did.
This man walked out like he was ready to save the world. This guy was at a party in Wonder Woman. He's at the party and he's like, yo, Diana, it's me. I believe that Patty Jenkins is like the writer and director of Donnie Darko. You caught one. You caught one. And that's it. You're gonna have to hand the lasso to somebody else. Get a lasso to Joss Whedon. He could do it.
What's her Donnie Darko?
The first Wonder Woman. She also made another movie called
Monster. Monster's very good.
Monster.
That's really good,
Monster.
and this is so different. Monster is really, really good.
But I'm gonna just say because that movie was from like 2003 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say that might have been a different Patty. like a different time in her life. So she's a different writer today, 17 years later. She's not even the same artist. I can't compare. So I'm gonna say that the first Wonder Woman, you caught one on that one. There you go. That's your one. You should have went out hot like Mace did. Okay, don't come back to ruin your legacy. You remember when the first Wonder Woman came out? People was talking about, oh, this is the greatest woman movie of all time. This movie saved the world. And then this second one comes out, and we're wishing upon rocks. His kids' wish didn't even come true. He was like, I wish for your goodness, Dad. He was like, yeah, all right, for sure. Anyways, I'm about to go get this money. Real niggas like to be rich. The kid was like, yo, what about my wish? Yeah, I was wishing for your goodness. You touched my shoulder, you creep. I just can't understand. I can't understand. If you're going to have, tell me his name, Pedro something.
Pascal.
Pedro. If you're going to have him step over enemy lines to go work with DC, and Pedro, you approved of this because you took the role. You read the script. What you doing, baby boy?
He was
this
acting.
Gotta be. Was he acting? He was cool.
I mean, he was just like at 100 the whole time. Like,
he did his best with what he had.
His mouth was wide open. Yeah, exactly.
He did the best with what he has. He was like, I don't even like this kid. Oh, my son. Yo, come on. They should have had a scene with the mom where the mom is like, I know you. See, I could write circles around Patty right now, yo. Not to say, but listen, I would have had a scene with the mom where she comes in and they have a story, like just 5 minutes. That's all we need. Just 5 minutes where she's like telling why she's not with him anymore, because he's hungry, he's manipulative, he's over eager. That's why she had to leave him for some schmuck, and that's why he got to have his kid on the weekends. We don't even know why he got the kid on the weekends. He doesn't even know why he got the kids on the weekend. This has to be the worst script. This is the worst story and script and movie I've seen from DC since the all evil crime fighting family, whatever that one was called with Will Smith.
Suicide Squad?
My gosh, Suicide Squad made me want to commit suicide myself. Horrible, horrible.
Yeah, that one was not good. That was not good. The only thing good out of that was Margot Robbie.
Well, she's a gem.
She's a gem. We love her.
Love her.
We love Margot Robbie. I even liked her in her own DC movie. What was that called? She was the Joker's girlfriend. Birds of Prey.
Oh,
Birds of Prey was all right.
That one.
Birds of Prey.
That was all right. That was all right. But I mean, DC. I think that the way that they're tipping the ship of like, we got a pretty good one, we got a pretty all right one, and then we got a really bad one, and then you got a really really bad one, and then Nah. And then you're right, Rashawn. I don't ever want to see Chris Pine's face again.
I didn't say that.
I
That
don't.
is a direct quote.
That
Like you said, Rashawn. Fuck him.
yeah. I'm good. I never want to see you in Star Trek, my guy. I never want to see you again. I never do. I want to see you doing something else. You could go write a movie yourself. I'm good.
Well, I mean, he definitely can't be in the third one, right? Like, he can't be.
He's going to be. I don't know this for
like
facts. Don't nobody say anything. But they need that. They need him in a certain sense of like, that storyline is not done. It doesn't appear done because he came to life so easy and he died so easily that it was just like, all right, yo, I'm back. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, we didn't even know how he went back. He just did, huh?
Yeah, she started walking out. She was like, I rescind the wish. The dude, Pedro, didn't even touch her shoulder. What is this? What is this, Hollywood? I'm glad I didn't pay. How did you guys watch it? How did you guys watch it?
We watched it on HBO Max.
Do you have to pay extra, or is it just on the streaming platform?
Just on there.
Okay, all right, good. So I paid $10 to go watch this, and I went to the drive-in theaters. Okay, it was a very romantic time. It was fun. I had a great time.
You had a date?
I did not, but I feel like the moment was romantic.
It
You know,
was,
it's
yeah.
just like, you know what I mean? I don't mean it in a sense of like, you know, I had a romantic moment. We held hands and we kissed at the worst parts. No, I just
The
felt like,
drive-in is romantic.
yeah, the driving. It's just a very like nice moment. But the $10 I spent to go watch on WW84 was just, it wasn't it. You know, I had a better time watching Valley Girl, the 2020 version of Valley Girl, at the drive-in theater earlier this year.
I wanted to see that.
Y'all should watch that because it's equally good as it is bad. It is right there in the middle, and it works perfectly. Anytime they start singing, you're like, "Damn, I hate this movie." But then when the singing is done, you're like, "Oh, this movie's kind of fire." So, yes, Wonder Woman. Did not like the story. I did not like why it was in the 80s. Makes no sense. I did not like the writing. I did not like, me personally, a lot of the acting. I personally hate watching a movie where I notice the acting. But in this specific case, I feel like the writing was just so horrible. It was just so. It was so film school. It was so film school that ain't it. I really thought about getting my 1,000 pennies back, but I didn't want to put that business under. You know, they provided the service to me on Christmas Day, so I'll leave my $10 with y'all. But that wasn't it. That wasn't it, y'all. My soul, but soul, fantastic.
But Soul
Loved
was
it.
good to you.
But soul. Okay.